I'm having a bit of a what's going on moment here. Have I taken a wrong turn? You come out of Millendress and you start walking up a road, and I'm terrible when I get on a road for just putting my head down thinking, right, get some miles done where you're on a good surface. And I thought, I haven't missed a turning, have I? So I checked the digital map and it said the coast path is down this side somewhere. I thought, oh no, did I miss a turning? So I had a quick look on the map and I thought, well, I've missed it by quite some way. I'll just keep going up the road because the path comes out to meet this road. But I've just come past a sign that says Monkey Sanctuary, and I know Paul pointed that out in his videos. So maybe it's just a detour from the one that's on the digital map for a landslide maybe. But there is another hiker down the road behind me, so yeah, maybe it is a detour, or we're all going wrong somewhere. This is Tregantle Fort, built in the mid-1800s to protect the coast from the French. You can see what state the path is there, you can barely even see it. That's why I just opted for the road option. It runs 10 feet away from the road, so the walk into Freethie is just much easier. It joins the road here anyway, so the walk into Freethie is just easier on the road. I'm finally back on the trail. I'm not going to lie, 17 miles today, probably half of it on a road. I put a video together last night and it was only 4 minutes something long, and I thought that's going to be the shortest one I make for the coast path. I think this one will. So apologies if this one really lacks content. I'm sure you don't want to see miles of road walking, and the rest of it has just been kind of like this, just nothingness really. So I've got 4 miles left to get to King Sand, and I know there's a couple of things. There's an old chapel on top of Rainhead, and I think there's a grotto of some kind about a mile beyond that. So let's see if I can make an entire video out of the remaining 4 miles. Oh dear, it's been tough today. Feeling much happier now. I'm back on the actual trail. The walk up to Rainhead there, up to the church. Oh man, it was quite steep getting up there, but after all the road walking today, I absolutely love that little walk up there. Now we've got a nice open trail into, hopefully it goes all the way into King Sand. Final update of the evening. I'm just at Maker's campsite, all set up here. I stopped in at King Sand, went to the pub, had a pint and a dinner, and then got a taxi up here. It's about 1.5 miles, but it's up a steep hill, so I didn't fancy it, and paid £6.70 for a cab. It's quite a strange campsite, this one, but in a good way. It looks like an old military installation. So all around me there's concrete structures that look like they could have been flak positions during the war. And there's some old military buildings over the top there that are repurposed for the toilets. But great little campsite. They do food over here as well. There's an old horse box and they do food. I've just got some top chips like chilies and sliced cucumbers, vegetables. It's a really weird concoction, but it tastes so good. But they're serving food up until 9:30, which is really great. So I'm going to sign off for the night. I will see you in the morning for the last 2 or 3 miles into the Kreml ferry in Plymouth. Good morning. Last morning of the trip, and I think the tent was the wettest it's been all week this morning. Just leaving Maker's Mark campsite behind me there. Probably got about a mile to walk to get back to the trail, and about 2 miles on the trail around Edgecombe Park, and it looks like a lovely walk. I think you get to sort of walk around the old estate's gardens a little bit, so that should be quite nice. There's a deer right by the gate. Just as I was coming down the path there was a deer right by the gate. He's legged it now. This wouldn't have picked it up, but I tried to get my phone out and zoom in on it. If it comes out, I'll show you, but it'd probably be very grainy zooming in on the phone on the video. But that was lovely first thing in the morning. Plymouth just coming into view now. What a highlight to the day Edgecombe Park has been. I googled the place before I got here, so I knew there was some lovely parts to it. And when I thought about just heading straight on through to the station last night and getting the train home, I just thought, how good would this place be? At 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm out of breath, I've just walked up a hill. How good would this place be at 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning when the sun's coming up and I'm here on my own? And there's a lovely woodland walk back there. Saw 3 deers in there. If the grainy one isn't too grainy, I'll put it up quickly, but you can't get close to them to film them properly. But huge views over Plymouth. When I got the train through Plymouth, it looked, I'm going to be honest, but from up here it really does look good. It's a nice thing. I can take my time this morning. There's no rush. I don't think the ferry runs at least till 7:30, so the map says, but the map's been wrong every time. I think it gives you peak time crossings when there's a bigger footfall. But this is, who'd have thought the last 2 miles of the trip would be one of the highlights. Well, an absolute highlight of the trip, Edgecombe Park, is I've absolutely loved it around here. And because it's so early, it's 7:50 now, I've only ever seen one person. I mean, check that out. A nice avenue of trees all the way up to the big house. What a beautiful place. Spend some time to walk around if you got it. And if you can, try and time it like I did, stay at Maker's Mark campsite, and then you can get an early start when no one's here. I'm just coming to the end of this trip, the end of Cornwall, and the end of map book 3. This one's been tough, I'm not going to lie. I haven't enjoyed it as much as I did North Cornwall. North Cornwall was just stunning, I loved it. And I know I had great weather for it, which really helps. I'm sure it could be miserable in bad weather. But Southern Cornwall, it's just really tough going without as many rewards as you get on the north coast. Lots of mid-cliff walking, so much of it is overgrown. It may be better later in the year when they've had time to get round and trim it all back, because it is the early part of the growing season, so everything's going to be up in full bloom. But I found it tough, real tough. I'm glad it's done, but I'm absolutely going to walk the coast path again. But I think when I get to St Ives, I will jump on a train and go straight through South Cornwall. But that said, don't let it put you off. There are some good bits. Pulpero was lovely, Foy was lovely. This place is lovely, Edgecombe Park. And there are some really stunning views and some stunning sections. But all too often I found myself thinking, how much further I've got to go? And there were a couple of times that thought crept in. Maybe I could just come back and do it, come back another day, but I didn't want to have to come all the way back to Cornwall. But North Cornwall just blew me away, as did North Devon. Don't let that put you off though. Really don't, because there are some good bits. It's just harder, and it just doesn't have the rewards. But I'm glad I've done it. I'm glad I'm through it, and I have had a good time. It's just, I think with any long distance walk, it's hard physically and it's hard mentally, and sometimes you need little rewards to look forward to, and there wasn't enough of them on this trip. So I will see you for the next one, which will hopefully either be in 2 weeks if I can't work out how to get through the estuary crossings, or maybe 4 when I can change my holiday time and start midweek and not have to worry about the Sunday crossing for the 3rd estuary. But I will see you very soon. Thanks for watching.